We're all supposed to be paying attention to the space set right now, or we're all supposed to be paying attention to the Spider-Man set right now, or should we all be paying attention to the Avatar set right now? I'm still just trying to figure out which Sonic the Hedgehog I'm supposed to buy, but what I've done is I've gone through the multiverse and made it simple for you. I've got 12 cards that are all at all-time lows with a couple bonuses thrown in there. These are my 12 picks for the month of August that you're seeing on the screen right now, so feel free to scrub through to the exact card that piques your interest. But before you leave, if I'm able to help you find a card that you want to grab, make sure you hit that subscribe button, or at least that like button if you've already subscribed. Throw me on your second monitor and let's get into it. Hey, if you live on the West Coast and or you're just looking for some cool Magic events for the rest of the year, I've got 3 that I want to tell you about. LDXP Phoenix, Command Fest Tacoma, and LVO 2025 are going to offer Magic fans some of the coolest opportunities for the rest of the year to attend conventions and get involved with the community. Each of these events offer a ton of opportunities for Magic fans to participate in different Commander and side events like Secret Lair Sealed Series, CEDH events, 20K plus main events at each of these. And you heard me right, LVO in 2025 in Las Vegas, Nevada, the largest minis convention in the US, that's expanded to include Magic the Gathering and other TCGs this year. So if you're in or around Phoenix, Arizona from August 22 through 24, if you're in Tacoma, Washington from October 31st through November 2nd, or you're in Las Vegas October 3rd for LVO 2025, go check out the link in the description. That's going to have all the information you need to know about all 3 events with tickets, event schedules, and updates. Plus, everybody who clicks the link makes me look like I did a really good job, so please and thank you. Big thanks to Laughing Dragon for sponsoring this video, and hopefully we'll see you at LDXP Phoenix, Command Fest Tacoma, or LVO 2025. First up is a card for the Final Fantasy completionists. This is the D-Spark promo. This was a WPN Gateway promo. It, like all other cards into the Final Fantasy hype, popped off like crazy. It was up near $40 average, you can see right there. It has dropped down. You can get one of these for market like $14 at this point. D-Spark is obviously a fantastic removal spell if you've got black and white in your commander color identity, but this one, again, like I said, is mostly just for the Final Fantasy completionists. If you want a specifically Final Fantasy promo copy of D-Spark, now is the time to go grab one. The prices have fallen off. Final Fantasy is mostly like passed off, but it hasn't gotten so far that all the prices are going to start raising back up and we're getting further away from it. Since it's a promo, since it's a little more scarce than some of the cards, I would say go check this one out. And hey, look, I've got a bonus card for you here with Culling Ritual. This was the same thing. This was a premium promo for Final Fantasy, WPN promo. Around $9 now. This card was over $20. Nice little grab 'em all spell for black and green. So go check out those 2 if you want some Final Fantasy promos, if you're trying to complete the whole set there. Cloudstone Curio's been around for a long time. The original Ravnica. This card has been over $60, $70 at some points. It's had a lot of reprints at this point, and so now at an all-time low of $10.63. Cloudstone Curio's in a great pickup range if you've never owned one. The Ravnica Remastered reprint set happened at the beginning of last year, so we're pretty well removed from it at this point. You can see there was a small jump in the price of this one, but it's just consistently fallen. If you're running it in decks like Animar, Soul of Elements, Itali, Primal Conqueror. Cloudstone Curio says whenever a permanent that's not an artifact enters a battlefield, you can return another permanent you control that shares a permanent type with it to its owner's hand. So any cards, any commanders that have to do with creatures entering specifically, or like a commander like a Tali Primal Conqueror entering, play another creature, return a Tali to your hand, that's what you want to be doing. Animar Soul of Elements is about playing creatures as much as you can to get as many counters onto Animar as you possibly can. Cloudstone helps you do that. You play a creature, you return another creature to your hand. ETB decks love this. It's just a really strong mythic artifact that is kind of a boomer brain price check on this. It being around $10 to me, I'm like, wow, that card used to be over $50. We should get in there and grab one. But it's really good. It is a really strong card still. Talk about Boomer Brain. Wormcoil Engine. Very strong 6-mana artifact creature. One of the strongest, especially to my Boomer Brain. This card is down to $7 market, y'all. This one is crazy to me. This was a $30 card back in my day, and the retro frame of it, to me, looks super dope. They've got the Raymond Swanland art on here with the retro frame and the mythic cog as the set symbol. Just really like this treatment. Started trying to get up to 15, never quite reached there. At this point, it's down to an all-time low. It's such a good artifact creature for a bunch of different archetypes. Any artifact commanders like Urza Chief Artificer or Osgir the Reconstructor, stuff that wants to see artifact creatures on the battlefield or in the graveyard. This one loves to die. Wormcoil Engine is a fan of dying and being returned specifically, and so it plays really well in decks that want to do that. Also kind of funny, Baru Worm Speaker. If you do want to play Worm Kindred, you're gonna want a copy of Wormcoil Engine, and you're gonna want Baru in the command zone. Cultivator Colossus is an interesting one. This one, as you can see, was above 20 bucks, and it lived mostly above $10 and $15. It was printed in Innistrad Crimson Vow originally, but it's had reprints at this point. Innistrad Remastered, the double feature reprint. We got a full parfait of it in Innistrad Remastered with a showcase, a retro, and the base frame that you see there. Around $5 to grab a copy of this at this point. Cultivator Colossus goes in landfall decks, the Necrobloom, AC, Tyrant of Gyre Strait, decks that want lands to be entering. When it enters, you get a land from your hand right onto the battlefield tapped. Then you just get to draw and possibly repeat if you can do it again. Omnath, Locus of Creation, Lord Windgrace even, those decks that want lands to sacrifice and go to the graveyard. This plays well regardless of what type of lands deck it is. As long as it's a lands deck, it pretty much goes in there. Getting to 7 so that you can cast it is never a big deal, and it scales up as the game goes longer and becomes a bigger threat to close the game out with. Overall, Aetherdrift has crashed. It, along with Tarkir Dragonstorm, it's time to go and look at both of those sets. We're far enough removed from it where most of the cards have bottomed out to where they're going to bottom out before they start to possibly rise again. Aetherdrift is like that. I just made a video last week on Tarkir Dragonstorm if you want to go watch that one. Some great pickups in that set right now. But I wanted to use Radiant Lotus, the first place foil here, to highlight that Aetherdrift is looking good for pickups right now. If you completely ignored the set, it's a good time to go back, pick through it, and see if there's anything you want from it. And specifically, some of these top hits. I mean, look at this. This card was over $100 for a while. The beginning of February through the beginning of March. We're looking at it was above $50 until April, end of April, beginning of May. It was still above $50, and now we're down to $25. If you wanted a card that says Lotus in it, in a treatment that is quite yellow, your Radiant Lotus first place foil down to $25, $30 maybe is where you're going to probably find this one at your LGS or online, but it's a good time to go look at this card and the set overall and see if there's any cards you want. Banner of Kinship. Ooh boy, this one took off. You can see it grow in popularity there when people realized, oh wow, this card is insanely good. At this point, the base copies have gotten down to about $4, about $5. If you've got a Kindred deck, if you've even got a deck like Tevel that makes a lot of a certain creature type, even if you're not building it as a Kindred version of that deck, Tevel, the balanced scale, is constantly spitting zombie tokens onto the battlefield. Banner of Kinship drops in. If you've got 5 of those on the battlefield, it gets 5 counters. And from now on, all of your zombie tokens, even if they wipe the board, as long as Banner of Kinship stays, all your zombie tokens that enter are 7/7s. And that's a bad use of the card, y'all. The card is really good. It was climbing for a while. It has fallen off. It is a good time to go and grab a base copy of this. And be aware that for only like $7 or $8, you can get a showcase version. We've got extendeds for like that $7 as well. There's also a mana foil if you want to go get that one, but prices are going to vary on that. If you want to go get the most pimped out version. But Banner of Kinship, grab this for your Kindred decks. You're going to want it, I promise. It's so good. We already looked at one Innistrad card. Let's look at another with Emrakul the Promised End. This got a reprint in Innistrad Remastered. Prior to that, Eldritch Moon was what we had, and you can see this card was over 50 bucks at any given time. Multiple times it crossed over that mark. Even this one has crashed. Now the foil of this one's still around $72. However, if you want to get a low-cost copy, foils of this one only 19, and the market price of base copies is only 15 bucks. Go get yourself a copy of Emrakul the Promised End and ruin some friends' days. Ricky is going to crash out when you take control of his next turn. He's going to fully crash out, and it's going to be hilarious, and you're going to be like, I did this for $19 and it shines. Another mythic that Innistrad Remastered has brought the price down on, it's Necro Duality. This one is so specific, y'all, but its specificity and its scarcity, it was only in one set. Prior to this, it was fairly a new card. It was from Innistrad Crimson Vow, you see. Got a little double feature hit there. That one's down to 18 bucks if you want a black and white copy of it. But at this point, you can get a market copy of Necro Duality for $5, a foil for $7. If you've got a zombie deck that includes blue, or you think you will, it's a great time to pick a copy of this up. Who knows when this kind of card will be reprinted again. I will say, though, I'm not saying go spec this card, because this is the kind of card now we're in the range $5 to $10. This could go into a pre-con. This could absolutely go into a secret layer. So I'm not saying go spec this card. I'm just saying very low risk at this point to go grab yourself a copy of it, especially in foil. $7. Go pimp out your zombie deck a little bit more. And we've also got the retro foils, Necro Duality retro frame and retro foils. Those are available as well. $5, $7. Good time to go grab these. Another card that had a solid spike, you can see there due to scarcity and playability, was Metamorphosis Fanatic. It's got that miracle cost of 2. You're rarely paying 6 for this, but you can also reanimate it, and that's why I wanted to highlight it, because it says when it enters, you return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a lifelink counter on it. Very Phyrexian Delver-esque. It's a creature that returns a creature from the graveyard to the battlefield, so if you reanimate it, you get kind of a twofer. And Metamorphosis Fanatic also drops that lifelink counter on it, and it's a 4/4 lifelinker to boot. It's not that shabby overall. $6.35 average. It's under $6 for the market price right now. If you're playing Hashiton, Henzi, Tori, Aminatu, either version, Glarb, Sephiroth, lots of different decks are going to want a reanimator creature that also reanimates a thing. That's kind of a nice line in your graveyard-based deck. So at this point, this card, you might remember it because right around the set, which is mostly where our price memory gets placed when we're looking at specific singles, right around the set, it had spiked up to over 20. Just wanted to call out now that it's down around $5. So your black graveyard reanimator decks definitely want to take a look and see if they want a Metamorphosis Fanatic. Taking it to Universes Beyond, it's time to look at Final Fantasy. I looked at the promos at the beginning of the video that have dropped down and may have been off your radar because they were promos and not in any of the main sets or commander decks or anything like that. But even some of the main cards, Celis Rune Knight, this was the foil from the commander deck, over $40 through June for a copy of Celis Rune Knight, just the single in the foil from the commander pre-con deck. Kind of crazy. At this point, it's dropped under 10 bucks, $7 market. You're going to be able to get yourself a copy of Celis Rune Knight. Great commander, great in Mardu decks, great in your Dahada deck. I can speak from experience. Hi, I played Dahada. I don't know if you've ever heard that. Overall, with this Universes Beyond, most everybody has consumed and devoured everything that they wanted to consume and devour from the set. And so a lot of the cards have started to fall off. Some of the top treatments are starting to hit those like little level out spots that they do before they go back up. Watch out for the next couple weeks. I'm going to have a video covering specifically Final Fantasy and it being time to pick up specific singles, but Celis Rune Knight going from over 40 to around 7 is notable. And while we're on Universes Beyond, Ezio Auditore de Firenze in the borderless copy, this card was over $50 for multiple months. It was over $30 for multiple months after that, and now we are down to around $30. The foil is around $50. Look at the foil chart, y'all. The foil chart in particular is kind of nice. what these charts do, and you'll see with like time to pick up videos like the Tarkir video from last week, is the charts, they fall, they fall, they fall, they start to level, and then they'll start to rise on the other side slowly. And we want to wait for that rise because that means the maximum amount of fall has happened. We can't really time it, but we'll try to time it the best we can. A lot of times it happens at like 3 to 6 months. Right now, Ezio Auditore Ferenzi, you can see, look at the foil price. It has settled and it's slowly maybe creeping back up. You've got your price here kind of still falling for the non-foil prices, but all-time low right now of around $30 for your borderless copy, specifically of Ezio. You can go get a $5 copy of Ezio here, also near an all-time low from Universes Beyond Assassin's Creed, but it's the special copies that we're looking at here, and maybe it's a good time to go explore this set as well. And then for card 12, let's look at whatever the opposite of Universes Beyond is. It's like Universes Within of Universes Beyond. So this is Rochelle, Fist of Torm. Auras you control have Exalted. It's got double strike. It's a 4-mana 2/4. You may recognize this from the Dungeons and Dragons Secret Lair. These cards and that lair were insanely expensive because not a lot of people bought it. It was pretty scarce, and the cards ended up being pretty powerful, honestly. These have been reprinted this year and were available as like trophies, as like promos to win participations, something. I don't know, but what it's done to the price is bueno. Over $20 for this copy of Rochelle, Fist of Torm. We're down to like $10 at this point. Bonus card, we've also got Evan, Waterdeep Opportunist. If you remember, this was Hugh Grant's card, but now it's here as Evan, Waterdeep Opportunist. If you want Universes Within, it has been provided to you. If you want reprints of those powerful cards that definitely have homes in any deck that has to do with treasures here, in any deck that has to do with auras here, now's your time to go grab them. Rochelle, Fist of Torm, around $10. Also, Evan, Waterdeep Opportunist, around $10. Go check the link in the description for more details about those 3 events that I talked about at the beginning of the video. Big thanks to Laughing Dragon for sponsoring this video. We'll see you at LDXP Phoenix, Command Fest Tacoma, or LVO 2025. If you've watched this far in the video, thank you very much. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't done either of those, let me know down in the comments which of these cards is interesting to you, or if there are any cool pickups that have been on your radar. I'd love to talk to you about them. Other than that, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.